everyone. Welcome to Brick by Brick, Building Homeownership with Suzi Beaver. I'm super excited today because our guest today is someone who is like a sister now, and that's not where we started. You see, she was one of my clients at one time, and now she works with me. It's really funny how things come around full circle and how life changes ever so unexpectedly just because you made a decision to better your life, to better your circumstances, to gain knowledge. Today, I'd like to introduce everyone to Ashley Benz. She's my right-hand gal in so many ways and makes what I do so much more attainable. And for me to be able to live my dream of being a mortgage originator in the way that I wish to be a mortgage originator, changing people's lives one loan at a time. She gets my call, she gets the action, she makes the steps attainable, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I could not thank you more. So thank you for joining me today and sharing your story.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. I think we met towards the end of 2018, maybe the beginning of 2019. I was an assistant store manager for Food Line at the time.
Okay.
Which is a salary position. It's a little demanding. I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. We had 3 kids at the time, so our life was just a little hectic. It was there wasn't a whole lot of time for much of anything other than work, sleep, eat, kids, rinse, repeat, bills. That was pretty much life. And when you're working that much and when you have so many priorities, it's really easy to get stuck in a cycle of just one day at a time and getting whatever you know needs to be immediately taken care of and kind of losing sight of what you want your life to look like in 3 years,
Absolutely.
or 5 years, or even 10 years. And so we were just kind of like living paycheck to paycheck, which a lot of people do.
That's right.
And we didn't really know how to get out of that cycle. I was talking to my mom one time about the joys of renting, and somehow your name came up because they had just purchased their home in like the previous year to that. And her husband gave me your contact information, and I said, was this your realtor when you guys bought your house? And he was like, no, but she's smart as a whip. She's the person you need to call. Just call her. She'll take care of everything. She'll make sure that you get what you need. So I gave you a call, and I didn't even know like what a loan officer was or what your position was, I didn't know anything about you. I just knew you weren't a realtor. So I gave you a call, and I think the first thing that you had us do was fill out an application. And that in itself was a little daunting, because if you've never filled out an application for a mortgage before, you know, the most I've ever filled out is like to rent a place, or maybe for a credit card, which is completely different. It's it's not nearly as like imposing and doesn't seem as lengthy, I guess. So yeah, the first thing was the application, and that in and of itself was kind of intimidating at first. And then, but once I did that, and I think I've just had to get past the worry and the lack of confidence and the, is she going to judge me, or is it she's going to look at this and it's going to be hopeless? So what's the point, right?
So why did you think that?
Just lack of knowledge. Just lack of knowledge, not knowing how credit works, not knowing how quickly certain problems can be fixed, just thinking that you see a number and going, oh, well, if the number's that low, it's going to take years to fix it, right?
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily always the case, right? And when you don't know those things, it's easy to just get stuck in that cycle of, well, let me just worry about the bills that are due this month. Let me just pay this off. I don't need to worry about that because it's not going to affect me now or even 6 months from now to take care of this debt. So I'm not going to prioritize it, right?
Yes.
And so it's easy to get stuck in that cycle, and that's what we had done for a long time, and until we talked to you. And then when we filled out the application, I remember we met for coffee.
Yes.
And you brought your laptop, and you pulled up our credit, and you went through our credit line by line, account by account. And it was really eye-opening. And it was you gave us a sense of comfort, like initially, because it was very, it's weird to like give everybody your personal information at first, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because your credit's like your life story. It's got everything on there that you've ever done, good or bad. And so it feels a little foreign at first, but once you kind of get past that and realize, oh, these are actions that everybody has to go through. A lot of people aren't able to pay their bills occasionally. A lot of people make bad decisions.
That's right.
A lot of people have to learn from those bad decisions.
That's right.
And so once you get past that initial like uncomfortable feeling, right, and you get past that and you're able to have that conversation of, this is how this affects your credit. And this is how it negatively affects your credit. And this is how we're going to change this account to not negatively affect your credit, but to positively affect your credit now. And just taking those little tidbits of information and being able to not start from scratch and take what you already have, even if it's a mess.
It's established credit.
It's exactly taking what you already have, even if it's a mess, and cleaning it up and taking it and making something out of it. And it's just not as intimidating as people think it is, I guess, when you don't know.
What do you mean by that? Not as intimidating. What was it for you that made the difference?
Just the knowledge, I guess. I think that before I was educated on how credit works and just what affects your score and how long certain things take to come off of your credit or to how long they will affect your credit. But I think just learning little things like that and getting rid of that sense of unknown, right? Because when you don't know something, it seems scary.
And overwhelming.
Of course.
Because you don't know where to start. You don't know what to make a priority. You don't know what decisions affect you one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up with a game plan.
Exactly.
And that's pretty much what we did that day, is we came up with a game plan.
Yeah, and it's something that, like, it's funny to me now because it's something that we do all the time, right? It's something that we come up with plans for people every other day for helping them get to where we need to be. But for me at that moment in time, it was so impactful. Like, that was a big moment for me because it was the turning point of me being able to go from living paycheck to paycheck, not knowing how every single financial decision affected my future 3 years from now, taking that knowledge and then starting to make the right decisions, right?
Yeah.
And then getting towards that path of, okay, you're not ready now, but you will be in 6 months if you keep on this path and you do X, Y, and Z, right?
Absolutely.
And that's just a game changer. Knowledge, just the knowledge itself is a game changer.
So for you, what did your journey look like back then? I mean, I remember that, but I know that for you, it was a different story because you were living it. I just gave you the plan, but you were actually executing it. What did that look like?
I mean, I think that once we had that game plan and we realized that the tunnel, not only was there a light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel was a lot shorter than we thought.
Yeah.
We got to work and I think that it was less than 6 months before you were like, okay, y'all are ready and you can start house shopping. And I remember when you told us that, I was like, what? Already? Are you sure?
So how long, what did that take for that to sink in
the whole thing was honestly surreal up until we moved, probably. Like, I don't think it ever really sank in until after we bought the house and it was there and it was like, oh, this is ours now. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe the first mortgage payment, that might say
this is what made it ours.
This is what made it ours. Yeah. But it was a game changer. And when I think about how different my life would be now, if we hadn't bought our house, if we were still renting, if we were still living paycheck to paycheck, and if we still had different priorities with our finances, right? How different our life would be today. And it's just amazing to me when you think about how something as simple as like one little phone call, one little, offhand conversation with mom about how much I hated renting and the landlord company was just awful. You know what I mean? Like, just that one little conversation completely changed the course of, the next several years of our life. And then consequentially, the rest of it, right?
Now you're having the opportunity today, working alongside me, to impact people's lives in this same way. What was it that made you reach out for that career change?
Well, actually, if you remember right, it was Josh that initially reached out to you.
That's right.
And if you know Josh, you know that is just slightly out of character for him. And so I like to think of it as a God moment. I think that it was God taking care of us when he needed to. And so he got in touch with you. And I think that he initially had in mind for me to be a real estate agent because I guess because of my personality. I don't know, because I'm social and stuff. But I couldn't be happier that did not happen that way. And not that there's anything wrong with being a real estate agent. It's just that with the career change that I was going for, the point of the career change was to free up my time for my family, right? And real estate agents, they still have very demanding hours at night and on the weekends. So, I kind of quickly moved past that. And yeah, when you said that you would bring me on as part of the team, I took that as a huge sign. And I said, well, if she's willing to do that, then that's obviously where I need to be.
Wow. Well, that was a huge leap of faith for you as well, too. Not not just Josh making that initial phone call, but
Yes, going from retail to a completely different industry was a little foreign at first because I mean I've been doing retail since I was 16, so that's all I knew really was that and waiting tables, but mostly retail. Going from that structure of that, having to work 40 plus hours a week of clocking in at a brick and mortar store to working remotely to working on, different types of income and not just hourly or salary and working for commission. It's totally different. And
absolutely.
as a mom though, I mean, I couldn't be happier. This is absolutely changed my whole family's life because I'm able to be there when I need to be for the kids.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. That touches my heart more so than you know. As a mom, that's why I did what I do too. It just allowed me to be free to do what I needed to do with my kids. And being a single mom for the majority of that, it was very, very difficult to do carpools and to do.
You would imagine Daria as a single mom.
It was so much more different, and it allowed me the flexibility to be the mom I wanted to be, but then also to be impactful not only in my kids' lives, but my life and the lives of the people that I served. It was just all the way around. It's an amazing career choice
Yeah.
to be able to make a difference in the lives of someone else. And you're living proof of that for me.
I really believe in what we're doing. I believe in the calling. I believe in the mission. I believe that if one little decision, if one phone call can impact my life and my family's life as drastically as it has, then I know firsthand the impact that can have on so many people.
Absolutely.
Right? And that kind of ties into the Bible verse that I had today. 1 John 3:18. It's let us not love with words or speech, but with action and truth. And this is my way of loving people with action.
That's exactly why we do what we do.
Yes, ma'am.
I just love it. And like I said, just one person at a time. We're not only changing one person's lives, we're obviously impacting families. You're living proof of that. That's what lights my fire every single day to come to work, to do what I do.
And I love that we do it from a place of love and not a place of judgment or condemnation or any of that. I think that the fact that we have clients from so many different walks of life and even different faiths, and none of that changes our mission or how we treat anybody.
No.
Or how we operate. And I think that speaks for itself.
Very much so. It's in what we say. Everyone has a right to own a home. We just want to help them to get there and give them the knowledge and empower them to complete their homeownership journey. Everyone has the right to feel that sense of security and belonging. And what you felt when you purchased your home, it was so drastically different from renting to owning. And look at how your family life evolved just from that one aspect.
You can't really put your finger on it and explain that sense of peace that you get from owning your own home versus renting until you actually experience it.
Absolutely.
So you can, if you're renting and you're like, oh, here they go again, talking about how awesome home ownership is. It's like having kids. You really can't explain it until you do it, right?
Yep.
It's hard to explain that sense of peace, that sense of security, that sense of, it's just different. It's just a different weight lifted off of you when you feel like when you go home, it's yours. It's entirely yours.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. As we always say, we have to protect our peace.
Absolutely. It is nothing short of life-changing.
I just think it's amazing. Thank you for being courageous enough to be able to come on and to share your story, because you are literally epitome of what we do. You know what I mean? We literally change people's lives one loan at a time, making a difference. That had to be very hard to be vulnerable to be able to share, because even myself, I'm not perfect in everything that I do, and I can help people with their credit, but my credit still isn't perfect either. And it's such a humbling experience to be able to tell people, I'm in the same boat. I'm in your shoes. I'm walking with you because I understand.
Because we've been there, we've done that.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's another misconception about credit is I think that people think that you have this score, this number that you have to attain and you reach, and then that's where you stay forever. And it doesn't work like that. Your credit you're going to have peaks and valleys, right? You're going to have times in your life where you don't need to utilize all of your credit and you're score's going to jump up. And then you've got some times where you might need to make that big purchase and it's going to tank a little bit, but it comes back. When you see this bad number, it's not like this is the rest of your life, you know?
No, it's not. Isn't that life though? We do have mountaintop moments, but we also have valleys. And the cool thing is that I've learned just through hardships, adversity, trials, the valleys are some of the best times in life, because I even found out things about myself that I didn't even know existed.
What's that saying about a diamond? Like you can only form a diamond under pressure or something like that. I mean, it's the same concept.
Absolutely.
You know, you are formed by the pressures and the trials in life.
Thank you again for just being vulnerable and being honest and transparent, and then just sharing how you can be
Well,
just.
thank you for everything that you've done for me and my family. I could never repay you, so.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And I'm looking forward to sharing more exciting stories, just like Ashley's, from other homeowners that we've helped to get on the correct path for their dreams and their desires for homeownership. So again, this is what this podcast is all about, is knowledge, sharing our experiences, because there's somebody out there today that is in the same shoes as Ashley was. You too are going to benefit from this. It makes it tangible for you too. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. And thank you for joining us on another episode of Brick by Brick, Building Homeownership. Till next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.